How's it going, guys? My name is Michael, and today I'll be discussing the topic on drones. Over the last few years, I've had an interest with the use and development of the drone technology around the world. My interests have peaked over the last few months, and I finally decided to dive deep into the integration of drones into our society and even most industries. I was quite shocked to learn how far and how much drones have integrated into the many industries we've got, whether it's commercial, filming, or even wars. Yes, even wars. One of the main reasons I wanted to look into drones is purely for the fact that not many people are aware what they are capable of and how developed drones actually are. Another question I had was how far AI have integrated into the drones. With all these kind of questions, I needed answers, and I'm really happy with what I found and what I've compiled. What scared me the most is that trends are going to change and improve the way a lot of industries work in the future. That is everything I will be covering in this video, so stay tuned and try not to get blown away. So here's the thing about drones, okay? They are quite loud, okay? If you listen to them carefully, it sounds like flying lawnmowers. And that can be quite irritating. And another thing is with drones is they are quite expensive, but in reality, they might actually be more affordable to some than others. Well, depending on what you want to use your drones for. I was quite surprised to see that it was listed on our website where I'm working at, and yeah, it's still expensive for me, but some might be able to afford it. But yeah, they are actually a lot more affordable than I thought. A few weeks ago, I went out to some sushi place with a friend of mine that I haven't seen for a while, and I was discussing my research on drones, and he brought up the fact that he knows the guy that built the fastest drone in the world. And at first, I didn't believe him. He told me his friend's name is Luke Bell. He even said I could interview him, and I was dumbstruck at the idea purely because, like, these guys are too intelligent for me, and I don't even know where to start, okay? I don't know anything about building drones, so what am I gonna add to them? I might just be wasting their time. Anyway, so a few days later, I actually looked up the fastest drone in the world, and lo and behold, Luke and Mike Bell are the Guinness World Record holders for the fastest drone in the world. And I'm not kidding over here, this drone that I've built are capable of going up to 500 kilometers per hour, which is very impressive, okay? It literally looks like a little green rocket. It even has this green flame coming from the bottom, which looks super cool. And I wouldn't know how the hell I think they pretty much display how they make the drone. If you guys do want to watch that video, Luke Bell's video is going to be in my description as well as his channel. Go show him some support. These are local guys. They're from South Africa just like me. And yeah, they are currently keeping the country proud, okay? And I hope they continue keeping us proud. So some drones can come in all forms. This is aerial drones, which is the basic ones, which is pretty much what I'm focusing on. You do get drying drones as well, which isn't something I've seen too much, but you do get them too. In fact, there's one of the video games that I'm playing is currently you got a little drone in there, and if they shoot cams, you can't see anything. So that's what we pretty much use that drone for. Drones have been introduced for commercial use since 2006. So since then until now, there have been a few developments, or actually a lot of development in a lot of the industries. Some drones, as we know it, are actually used for deliveries. I'm yet to see one myself, okay, but yeah. As far as I know, I think Amazon is using it to deliver packages and stuff like that. I can only see that being used more in the future. Otherwise, we have Checkers, okay? So Checkers has 6060, and they pretty much use bikes, okay? There's a lot of bikes that they use to deliver our groceries to us if we are too lazy to go to the shop. I remember when COVID happened, I actually noticed that there was a lot more delivery companies going out. So you got your Checker 6060, Pick and Pay started their own thing with the deliveries as well, and then there's a bunch of other places as well that did deliveries. And I mean, that was during the pandemic, so not a lot of people were allowed to go out to the shops and stuff like that. So they would also kind of fall under essential workers back then. That's kind of where that derived from, more or less. And since then, it's just grown. Even after the pandemic, it's still big. One thing is for sure, I will not be surprised if I see 6060 drones in the next few years. So as you guys can see, drones are even used in the agriculture field, okay? And drones are being used more and more in agriculture. It's something that I know will be utilized a lot more in the future. So the use of drones in agriculture is mainly used for spraying pesticides and other deterrents on the crop, and it's in a means of using it in a more efficient way. It's also a lot more accurate. This will definitely impact normal workers in the way it's currently going, and I definitely see that this will impact people in the future, because who knows what other technology is going to be developed. Not even with normal flying drones, but like drones in general. I mean, look, a lot of farm equipment has also evolved, or how can I say this? A lot of farming equipment has also been developed in such a way that it takes away a lot of other labor effect to it. So that's also been a huge change. Not to change the topic, but I am baffled to see how developed other machines are. So another thing I've uncovered with them using drones for farming is because it's a lot more cheaper than hiring a plane or a helicopter. They apparently use helicopters to do this pesticide spraying as well. So apparently drones are a lot more cheaper than flying or hiring a plane. And I'm not saying that drones are gonna have a negative impact on farming, okay? I have been aware that some folks use drones and build on them as a hobby. I get it. It is so cool to fly a drone in spaces and areas where you've always wanted to explore, like abandoned buildings, to caves, to cliffs, to even nature. This is surely a wonderful toy to have if you have the money for this kind of hobby. With all this going on the last few years, there have been calls from the public regarding privacy concerns regarding drones being used in residential areas. And that is quite fair. I mean, you do get some advanced stalkers out there, and that's just gonna be some crazy work to use drone to stalk somebody. So as we know, drones can be used for good, but there's also a darker side to it. And a prime example to that is, as far as I've researched, is the current conflict between Russia and Ukraine. So I'm no expert, okay? I was just quite interested in the use of drones in this conflict, okay? This is something that will be game changing in the future regarding wars and any other conflicts like it. I noticed that drones are being used in a defense and attack position. I have, however, researched the Ukrainian front of this operation, and might I say, they are quite resourceful with it. So as far as I've researched, Ukraine has a lot of satellite bunkers where these drone operators would be sitting, and they would pretty much control a majority of the drones from, and that's throughout the battlefield, okay? They even have an emblem which is derived from some old Russian folklore. She supposedly represents some kind of superhero. Another thing Ukraine has is a drone they nicknamed the Vampire, and that's used at night. It's equipped with night vision goggles, okay, or night vision, as you would say, and it makes it very easy for them to spot their targets and pretty much drop bombs on unsuspecting units. A very interesting question the interviewer asks in the current video that I'm pretty much displaying of this is, so the interviewer asks about the use of AI in drones.
Units are already experimenting with AI technology, which allows drones to navigate independently, identify targets, and potentially strike without pilot's control.
Скоріш за все, я так скажу, штучний інтелект, він є для автономної роботи, але він занадто дорогий. В чому сама суть цих всіх розробок? здешевити, що він став доступний, так як доступний FPV-дрон. Західні армії і НАТО розвивалися, будувалися всі засоби ураження, суперточності будувались на системі GPS-позиціонування. Якраз російська машина, всі свої, це моя думка, всі свої ресурси, останні там десятиліття або й більше, якраз працювала на протидію системі GPS. Тобто вся ця війна в розробці гонитві за штучним інтелектом зводиться до простого виключення. Щоб дрон без GPS зрозумів своє знаходження в просторі. Все решту за нього вже є алгоритми, як зайти на ціль, який йому кут.
The war in Ukraine is the world's first full-scale drone conflict. It marks a new epoch in the evolution of killing, which is altering the shape of the modern battlefield.
So apparently AI isn't too much involved in drone technology yet, and that is definitely something that would be developed in the future. Scarily enough, because that's what makes it scary, okay? A single soldier wouldn't really be able to defend himself, okay, against a horde of drones, but I'm gonna get onto that topic very soon. So Ukraine uses the drones to pretty much disrupt Russian patrols. They also disable tanks and other vehicles that the Russians might use. On the other hand, Russia has also used drones on Ukraine. They would pretty much target critical infrastructure and resources like power stations and gas stations and plenty other structures that would definitely impact Ukraine heavily. And that's something that you would see every other week as well. We can only hope that one day peace would come back to this region and the conflict would go away. But unfortunately, it's not that simple. And yeah, I just wish peace for both sides. China. So China has had many ways they have improved on drone tech. They even have DJI, which is the world's largest drone manufacturer. They specialize in commercial drones as well as drones that pretty much do filming. So DJI actually has a significant share in the drone distribution throughout the world, and they actually account for 70% of sales, which is something that I found quite interesting. And I'm not surprised because it's China and China pretty much makes almost everything. But what surprised me about it was the fact that these drones are actually some very high quality drones. And a quick Google search, I actually found it on even the store that I work at. I found it on a website over there. I'm not really going to show it, but yeah. I was surprised to see that we actually sell DJI drones. DJI stands for Daojiang Innovations. That translates to Great Frontier Innovations. They are situated in Shenzhen, China, and they actually have manufacturing plants worldwide. So my boss actually mentioned DJI to me, and that's why I decided to look into what they do. So I've mentioned earlier about agriculture, and they are actually a huge contributor to the drones that's being used for this. I was pretty impressed with a lot of these drones. They even created a massive drone that is strong enough to carry a person. So one thing I'm impressed about with DJI is they've actually improved and developed a lot of drone technology. That's why I was actually stunned to find out that they didn't actually hold like the world's fastest drone. And I actually expected them to have the world's fastest drone, and I was quite surprised to find out that a South African guy actually built the fastest drone. But yeah, we'll see what the future holds us. So what I can see from DJI is they actually play around with a lot of drones, and they pretty much have their finger in every pie, okay? They have their finger in every pie in this drone business. Another thing I was actually suspecting is that they would actually be building kind of like military drones, which I haven't seen them doing any of that unless that's some kind of secret project that nobody knows about. But so that's my take on DJI, and I'm pretty sure that there is a lot more that we'll be seeing from them in the future. something else I found interesting, which is something I nearly see every year, and that is the Chinese drone shows. So they actually have it almost like all the time now. They have these drone shows that light up the skies, doing perfectly choreographed shapes and all sorts of other things. This is very impressive. Not just them, but there is other countries that do this as well. China just dominates in it, and they do it to the next level. Everything you see here is pretty much thousands of drones being controlled by one single PC. Now, mind you, that is quite impressive, okay, if you think about it, but then again, that is also quite scary, okay, because if that kind of technology gets used in a military complex, then that'll be devastating. Anyway, so you guys might say, oh, hey, Michael, maybe you've been playing too much video games, you know? Hey, Michael, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, you are starting to go crazy. Which, maybe I am, okay? Maybe I'm not, okay? But maybe, just maybe I'm right, okay? And this is kind of where we're heading to in the future, okay? I'm not trying to fearmonger you guys here, but like any like intelligent person that has access to this kind of technology would want to edge over your enemies. With these kind of things happening, it's just gonna be inevitably used, okay? And yeah, drone warfare will definitely be changing the future. As a single person, okay, I don't think a single person could stand a chance against like 1,000 of these kind of things, okay? Like, I mean, hell, if you look into the sky and you look at like 1,000 targets heading your way, I don't know, you don't really know what you're gonna be doing in that moment, bro. Real cooked, okay? Real cooked. Now, I don't really see like a platoon being able to fight off 1,000 of these drones either. I'm pretty sure there is a few nations that have been maybe developing some kind of counterattack or defense against these kind of attacks. So yeah, drone warfare is definitely going to be changing the future of how wars are fought. If you guys learned something new, okay, I would appreciate a like and subscribe, okay, if you're new. Otherwise, yeah. Give me your opinion in the comment section. I would really appreciate it, okay? Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to get at, okay? And if you guys liked the video, subscribe, hit the like button. I would appreciate it. If you learned something new, that's great. That's kind of what I wanted to do with this video. And if you have any opinions or if you want to add your own info to it, go ahead. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I will see you guys next time. So don't let any drones get hold of you, okay?
Look, it's RB551. No wonder he got blasted. He's one of those older models programmed by a central computer. Not us. We're independent thinkers. Roger, 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 roger.